Hey everyone, it's Jennifer with Rooted in the Rock, and I've got something dropping from the education branch right now. Hey everyone, welcome to Rooted in the Rock. I'm so glad you're here. Today, before you throw out any schoolwork, I want you to watch this, okay? Before you throw out it. Now, there's always the question, we're getting into, it's spring, it's April right now. We are getting to the end of the school year, and there's always that question, what do I do with all this schoolwork? They've been bringing home papers, bringing home projects, all these things all year long. What do you do with it? Well, if you're like my family, me and my mom, we kept everything. And then when I got older and got married and got my own place, then mom said, okay, you're on your own. You've got your own place now. Here you go, hon. Here's all your stuff. And you're like, thanks, Mom. And then you get home and you're like, I have to go through these tubs, boxes, whatever. And been there, done that. I had to go through so many things and so many papers. And you keep them and you think, oh, I'm going to want to see this. I want to see how I did this. You know what? When you get older, when your child gets older, okay, they're not going to care about whatever random math test, whatever random spelling page. Like, yeah, some might be fun to look at, but not like an entire tub full of them or an entire moving box. I had both tubs and boxes that I had to go through. So my husband and I, as our kids have grown up, so guys, I'm talking to myself. I'm not just talking to you, okay? I have tubs upstairs in the office. I just call them the memory tubs, okay? It's things that we've decided to keep, but they're not organized. They're just in a tub. Nobody's ever going to look at it. Nobody's ever going to see it if it's packed up in a tub. Now, I have gone through a lot of the kids' schoolwork and I've pulled out, only kept certain things, but it still gets to be a lot. So I want to talk about one or two ways, an idea of how to keep schoolwork and throw away a lot of it. Okay, so something that our old school used to do, because we were technically homeschooling at our old hybrid school, one of the things they would do was all year long, they would collect schoolwork and papers and things for their portfolio. We called them a portfolio. It was this 3-inch binder that it was part of your school supplies at the beginning of the year. You bring this 3-inch binder and 100 page protectors. And at the end of the year, so the teacher kind of keeps up with that all year long, hopefully. Sometimes in the beginning, those of us that were new would be really behind on putting this stuff in there. Once you did it a few years, you really got into the rhythm of every quarter or so putting all the papers in. But anyway, keeping a binder during the school year, because when you are homeschooling, like I've said before, it depends on what state you're in and what the rules are depending on where you live. But, the state, they could come check on you and be like, show me what you've done. You need to prove to us that you've actually been homeschooling. I don't think I've ever heard of that actually happening to anyone, but I have heard that you need to be prepared for that just in case. So, and it doesn't hurt anyway. So what we would do is, but here's the thing. So it's really great. And then at the end of the school year, they come home last day of school. Oh, look what I did here. Look what I did here. Oh, it's great. They love looking through it. The kids love it. The parents love it. And then they have this nice, neat binder. Here is your record, your proof of your work for this year. Nice, neat binder that you can put on a shelf. The problem is, this is really big, okay? This is a 3-inch binder, and imagine having multiple children, and you have one of these per child for every single school year. That still takes up a ton of space, a ton. So, I just want to talk for a minute about some ways you can keep work, and let's also minimize it, right? Some people do, I guess. But most people don't really have that much room to dedicate to just your school records, right? And what are you going to do with them when the kids are done, right? You don't need every single paper from every single thing they did. Okay, you don't need every single math test from 3rd grade. Okay, so here is my suggestion. Now, of course, if a school wants to do that, that's great. But what I suggest is you go through the kids' work, and you know what? If there is a special test, look, they got 100 on this one, or they've been having a really hard time with this subject, and then they super improved, and this was the first test that was really great. Like, important things like that, sure, pull them out, keep them. Okay, but decide, and of course, it's easier to do this as the school year goes. You really don't want to have this huge task. When school is out, everybody's ready to take a break and relax, right? You don't want to have this massive bin or pile of paperwork that you have to go through, because then you know what happens? It just sits there. And you go and do things and you never get back to it because you really don't want to. So the best thing to do is keep up with this during the school year, okay? Decide which papers are really important. You don't need every spelling paper, okay? Maybe keep one really great spelling test or whatever. Now, if you want to keep, a certain number of them for record's sake and all of that, fine. But really just keep the special things. And I'll talk about things that don't fit as well. But first, so in these, so keep that in mind if you are homeschooling. When you do projects and things like that, and I always kept this in mind as well when I was a teacher, is I always tried to make sure that whatever we were doing would fit in a page protector, okay? I tried to make sure. So sometimes we did projects where, you can cut and paste or whatever, and we'd make portfolio pages, and we'd specifically make things to go in here to show about what we've learned that year. It can be a great record of, oh, look, we did this in history or we did this in science. Okay, portfolio pages. So I'd get packs of colored cardstock from Hobby Lobby. In their paper section, they have all the scrapbook pages, but they have regular 9 and 8.5 by 11 page sizes in the different colored paper, and those are fantastic to be a background for whatever your for whatever your assignment might be. Now from our school, we had dividers for different subjects. You could do dividers for subjects, or if you're just keeping a few certain things, then you could have dividers in here for the different years. You could totally keep multiple school years in one binder and save a ton of space. And just keep those special things. And the things that are too big to fit in a page protector, those like giant art projects and things like that, there are some super special things you might just want to keep, right? Just keep it. Like, I did this in junior high, and it was such a fun project, and I loved it, where we layered the different paint colors, and then you wash it in the sink, and you scrub it, and the colors come off, but you've done all these different layers. Anyway, it was really neat. This was like a dream I had where I was running. I didn't mean it to be like the famous painting, I was running from a car, was chasing me. Anyway, but I still have it. Like, there's a few couple things that I still actually have that have somehow survived all the different moves and things. But other things, I ended up, like I said, when my husband and I got married and our parents said, here's your stuff, yay, and we had to figure out what to do. A lot of things, it took me forever, and it was such a pain. And most of it was just junk that I didn't care about. Some things that I've done with these portfolio things too is bigger things that don't fit, bigger art projects that the kids want to remember, but you're like, how am I going to keep this? We have the remaining parts of a cardboard robot in the basement right now. He somehow has mostly survived. He's falling apart though. But, he was a giant life-size robot made out of Pringles cans and things like that. Take pictures, y'all. Take pictures, and you can save it, and here's the thing. You take pictures and you save them, and they're on your computer or whatever forever, but do we ever look at them? No. Print them out. Print them out. You can print them on regular paper and put it in the portfolio binder, or print them out as pictures and have picture pages. So one thing I did for one of my classes one year is I was like, we take all these pictures during the school year, and we went, and so the first year what I did is I made collage pages. This is what a lot of the teachers did, is we'd make collage pages and get them color printed on regular paper, put them in the portfolio. Well, another year what I did was let me find one that has, I got these picture pages from Amazon. It fits 2 4x6s. I think these will go, I don't think these go up to 5x7, but it fits 2 4x6s, and you can put these little title slips in here, and you can write comments or captions or whatever. So like, this was Bible lesson in our tent, and let's pretend we're asleep, LOL, because the kids were all pretending, sorry about the light, the kids were all pretending they were asleep. This is when we were talking about Sukkot, and oh yeah, sorry, I saw the pictures from our air thing. I'll have to tell you about that sometime. We pretended to go on trips. It was so much fun. We got to do that. We got to talk about that sometime. Anyway, so I did all these picture pages. So what I did is I had them printed on regular photo paper printed, and I put them in these sheets, and I made one up for everybody in the class. I made a set, and then I had individual captions. When I had pictures that were just them and a couple of their friends, I would write different things. And that took forever. And sometimes I have these really great ideas for projects, and it's just so much work. But for you at home, you can take your pictures of those special projects or pictures of them during the year, put them in those pages and put them in the portfolio with their schoolwork. Or if you are more of a photographer type, you can make your own photo book of that school year, like kind of like your own yearbook really. And you could take pictures of their work and put it in that little photo yearbook that you make. There's another idea right there. That's really great, actually. Anyway, that would take up a whole lot less space. Plus, you could keep it like on the bookshelf in the living room or on the coffee table in the living room, and they can enjoy it and look at it over the years, show their friends or whatever. When you have family come over, they can just look through there. And it's really handy. So that's why I wanted to talk real quick, because we're at the end of the year. Before you throw anything out or before you shove it in a tub to collect mothballs until your kids are 20 years old. Okay, before you do that, how about maybe think about an easier, more slim way to collect their schoolwork for the year. So, I hope that was helpful. There are other ideas too. If you have other ideas and other things that you do, share it in the comments. We can all talk about it. Like the video if this was helpful. Subscribe if you want to see the future videos. And also, I always forget to tell everyone, watch all the way to the end, because I usually, if I have outtakes, I will put outtakes. I try the funny bits that get clipped out, if they're fun or funny or whatever, I put them at the very end, just for fun. And my kids think it's funny and they love watching it. So I'm going to keep doing that. But just so you know, in case, because I know even some of my favorite channels, when it gets to the end credits kind of thing, I'm just like, okay, done. And, so those good bits are at the end, by the way. Just saying. Dude, I got something for you. Oh, it's over here. I'm particularly proud of. My kids love it. They think it's hilarious. My dad loved this, so it's really special to me. I've kept it. Plus, it was on really thick cardboard paper. It was Roadkill Cafe. We had these t-shirts for Roadkill Cafe. I don't even remember, but it was just funny. It was a joke, right? So for a project for school, I made my own Roadkill Cafe advertisement poster. I couldn't draw like faces very well, so she's turned around backwards, and then I made sure to put the bum cheeks so that was the back of her. Oh, I have no idea if I'll put that in, but we'll see. Here's your stuff.